I was raised in a military family born in France. For many years, I lived in many years in Germany, Virginia, and Minot, North Dakota, eventually settling here in Maryland. My mother is German, and my maternal grandfather served in the Hitler military as a foot soldier. He did not volunteer. My mother's early years were spent under constant threat of attack by the U.S. The happiest day of her life was when her town was liberated by the Army as the war was ending. I share this background as aspects of my family's past experience has helped me form the person I am today. My mother is not a gun owner, but my recently deceased father was, and taught me to treat firearms with respect at a very young age. My mother is scared to the point of tears as people in local and national government speak of gun bans. She clearly remembers her brothers and father talking about gun collections in Germany so many years ago, and she has great fear for the turmoil and death that followed her own experiences. I'm the wife and partner to a business owner that travels frequently, a mom of 2 active boys, ages 17 and 10, and a new canine protection-trained German Shepherd that joins our family in just a week. My husband took me on our second date 20 years ago to a local shooting range on target. And the bond that began forming at that range has continued today as we target shoot with our children and friends nearly every weekend. I am proud to have joined with my husband as we together made the effort to become NRA certified pistol instructors. We pursued this as the NRA as an organization places a tremendous emphasis on safe gun use. We have introduced many friends to handguns and what many of you like to refer as assault weapons. We refer to these as military-style firearms, much like we might refer to our son's baseball bats as baseball bats, not assault bats. 90% of the firearms we own would not be purchased or sold in Maryland under SB 281. None of these firearms fire more than 1 round at a time as the trigger is squeezed. The discussion about magazine size should be a matter of choice, my choice. Many of you are pro-choice. Why would that not naturally extend to our ability to protect ourselves and our family? We have a business with approximately 500 year-round employees, and with seasonal needs, we add up to 900 others for 6 to 8 months each year. Based on previous threats to related business, I have good reason to be armed or have access to a firearm, and I do have a permit to carry concealed in Maryland. My husband, as CEO of the business, makes the final decisions related to prosecution of criminals that surface in the business. My husband terminated an unstable person last week in a management position that has been to our home before. Threats have been received and documented previously with local law enforcement, and if any danger ever materializes, I would not want to be limited by a magazine size or type of firearm that a group like this determines to be sufficient. Let me decide what works for me, and more importantly, that right should be preserved for my children and my grandchildren. SB 281 does nothing to identify those who may have dangerous mental instability, often known to professionals or others. This bill does nothing to more aggressively prosecute criminals and does everything to limit the rights of law-abiding citizens.
Your time has expired.